To give you the layout here, you are kind of a little bit off the pathway that leads through this large forested area, and you are standing with your group, your party of 7 people. So you've got Leon and Tyria and Crocus that are all still here with you. So if you want to ask them questions or talk to them, you can. I'll play them. I'll play their characters for them, but I won't go into too much details because I don't want to play their characters too much. But if you have something you want to ask them or give to them or do something with them, just let me know and we can role play that out. So you have them. And then you've got the slave drivers, which are tied up right now. You defeated them. They surrendered after you defeated their captain. Then you have the 4 slaves who you released. You released them from their captors. They are now untied, and they are very thankful to you. And they look like they're going to punish the shit out of these slave owners who were beating them and torturing them. You seemingly have saved the group of people that you came across that these people were chasing. You let them get away, which is pretty good. So, with that said, you've got your loot. You've got your plan of where you need to go. So now you can do what you'd like. What would you guys like to do? Does anyone want to talk to anybody or each other or investigate anything? Otherwise, we can push forward. Up to you guys.
Where do I go to see my character page again? Really
D&D Beyond. I
can,
can,
okay. Thank
can
you.
put the link in the chat if you need it.
I am so sorry. Oh my god.
You're good. You're
I
totally
got
good.
the site up. I'm looking.
Should be, if you log in with Twitch, you should be able to see under your character.
So who? We've got people tied up right now, right? We haven't killed everyone, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. You've killed a couple of the slave drivers, but not all of them.
We left them to the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give one of the slaves my sword and tell them to kill the rest of the slave owners?
Do you want to like watch them do it?
Yeah.
Wait, before
arm the slaves. Yeah.
Before we murder the slave owners, can I roll? I want to roll an intimidation check because I want to try and intimidate them to get some more information out of them. I feel like we haven't extracted enough info.
Okay, sure.
Or is that what that?
So the way I do the things like this is, you know, a lot of times what happens in D&D is a player will be like, I want to intimidate somebody, and they'll roll really low, and then the next player will be like, I want to try intimidating them, and then they'll roll really low, and the next player will be like, I want to try intimidating them. So what's going to happen is whoever wants to intimidate, I'll let 2 people try it, and if 2 people fail, your whole group looks like a joke to them. Okay, no matter
who's got the biggest boost on intimidation. I've only got +2.
I've got +1.
Where do I check that? I'm looking. Oh, I'm -1. Oh.
Oh. Charisma might not be too good.
Wait, where's intimidation?
It should be in
it's
your...
like about halfway down the middle skills sheet.
I got +5.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm +2, so should me and
sure.
Jinx should roll.
You can do that, or you can have one person do it and roll with advantage. So this is called helping. So if you want Shisa to do it and roll with advantage, you can do what's called helping, and that's what gives her that advantage. So she rolls twice, takes the higher number. If you want to do that,
we'll do that.
Yeah,
so
Here's grab my hand. Go.
Describe how you do it. Describe
Grab
how
my
you do
hands.
Ooh.
How do you want to intimidate them?
I grab Ross. I mean, I grab
Fergus.
I grab Fergus's hand, his little scaly hand, and wait, who are we intimidating for? What?
The slave owners, just to we're gonna intimidate them because they're evil people and they're not telling us everything, so we're gonna scare them into telling us more information.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Fergus's little hand and I'm gonna go, hey, you look me in the eyes, all of you, and you guys fucking tell us the truth or I'm going to slaughter you all.
What truth are you looking for? This is not me saying this in character. This is me as the DM asking, like, what is the truth that you're looking for? You can talk it out. Feel free to talk it out.
Ask for help. Can I call a friend?
Yeah. You can talk it out, you know, out of character right now.
Fergus, I don't know what is it that we're...
Oh, listen, I haven't thought this far ahead. I just wanted to scare the bastards. I reckon we need to find out why they wanted to kill the slaves. We need to find out if there's a bigger organization behind this so we can take them down from within.
Okay. So do you want to change what you say then? Instead of saying tell us the truth, what do you want to say? tell us
Who sent you?
Okay.
Who
Tell us,
sent you?
tell us the truth about who sent you,
Okay.
or we'll slaughter you all.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
nice.
Okay, perfect. So when you do an intimidation check, make sure that you just tell me what you want out of the intimidation check. Like, what do you want to intimidate them to do in this case? So I just wanted some more specifics from you. So in the future, try that out. Just be real specific about what you want. So roll twice and take the higher number. So you can click on intimidation, and if you hold shift, it should do it, or you can, you rolled once, so just click again. Perfect. Okay, 23. So I'm going to roll for the bad guys here. And there's no way they're going to beat that at all. The two guys who are like hogtied right now, they both immediately, like, they look up at you, and I mean, your form itself, she says, not really intimidating. Like your physical form, would not intimidate them. They're much bigger than you and stronger than you. But,
I'm sexy. Yeah.
But you have like a seriousness when you said that you were going to slaughter them. They were like, they could just tell that you were like, yeah, you're not going to hesitate. They are just going to die. So they are intimidated as you see some beads of sweat starts dripping down their face. These two guys, one of them is kind of like a fat, overweight kind of guy. His belly's all squished down against the dirt right now. His shirt's kind of riding up. He's real hairy. He's got a big black beard, and he kind of looks up, and the leaves are kind of caught in his beard. His face is kind of pressed up against the ground. He goes, no, nobody sent us. Well, you killed him. And he points over to the tiefling who you cut the head off of, who was their leader.
Oh, so there's no further chain of command at all?
I don't know. He wouldn't share that kind of information with us.
Do you know where the information could be found? Or who I could talk to?
Well, you kind of killed the only guy who would be able to tell you. Maybe it's in his book.
Do you know anybody who knows what those runes are and who can translate them?
He says, they don't tell us shit, lady.
God, you're a fucking idiot. Damn.
I want to ask a question. If they don't tell you anything, and if you have no idea what's going on, why the fuck are you being a slave owner? Like, bro, go work in a pub or something.
First thing you see while you're saying that, you see that there's like a small puddle of pee forming underneath him. As he is just scared out of his mind right now, of dying. He looks like a coward for sure. He says, it's well. He kind of looks up and he goes, if I'm being honest, it makes me feel strong.
So you're a bully. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
you're a bully who's just...
I'm a big stupid bully.
And you've just pissed yourself. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations, you're really big and strong.
So at this time, while you guys are like intimidating this guy, Neffy, as you're standing there kind of watching this happen, and just kind of maybe admiring your new golden whip. I don't know. As you're doing that, you hear a voice kind of in the back of your head. It's not, you know for sure that it's not out loud. Nobody's hearing it but you. And the voice that you hear is, Oi, if you want to know exactly everything, then bring me back for a little while. And as you hear that, you've heard this kind of tone before. First of all, you've heard this voice. This is the voice of the lead slave driver. This is the voice of the person you killed, that you cut the head off of. And as you turn around and you see his body, in your bones, you recognize this phenomena. This is a dead person speaking to you. This is someone who wants to be brought back to life, even for just a moment. And you feel that pull from your parent, that godly ability that's within inside you. If you've looked at your character sheet, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet.
Yeah.
You have seen that.
I'm looking.
Okay, so
yes.
It's under, I believe it's under features and traits. If you scroll down to the bottom.
Yes, I'm here.
It says Blessing of Morabi.
Morabi, yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on that, you can see what it does. I'll let you read that while I'm continuing to describe the rest of this, and you can decide whether or not you want to use that. That's totally up to you. Okay? Totally up to you. So to the rest of you guys, while you're watching the slave drivers make a fool of themselves, is there anything else that you want to do? Egrid,
Can
did
I
you want to
bottle
do
this piss
anything?
up and save it?
I mean, yeah. If you want. You want to bottle this piss up?
I would like to ask a question. I would like to ask them who those people were that were fleeing and what happened and like why they were leaving, what they were catching them for.
They were our property.
But they had blood all over their weapons. Like, what did they kill somebody?
Yes, they killed one of ours.
Oh, so you guys were like going after them to like get back at them?
Well, yeah, that, and we own them. They're ours.
Yeah, and like get them back, of course. Get back at them and get them back at the same time. Either way, like, you know. So that's all they did. They weren't like bad people or anything. I mean, I guess like they hadn't done anything up until that point except for killing somebody to get away.
I guess not. They're really slow at doing their chores. They were shitty slaves.
Well, I sure am glad that we let them go without attacking them, aren't you guys? Like, I'm glad we made that decision. We really seemed to have taken the correct route here. Because you guys are the bad guys, and I'm glad that we decided to fight you instead.
We're sorry.
Sorry doesn't cut it, buddy. I hope you have fun being treated like they did.
Don't leave us tied up, please.
I personally think we should leave them tied up sitting in their own piss. I think it'd be quite funny.
Oh my god.
Egrid, your microphone is muted.
Oh shit. I said leave them for the slaves to decide. Can we ask the slaves what they want to do with them? Or can we assist the slaves in what they want to do with them?
You have a feeling, I mean, it'd be pretty simple. If they wanted to kill them, they could easily do that. They have a couple daggers that you guys gave them. You basically you transferred the slave owners' weapons over to them last session. So you gave them those daggers and short swords, and you gave them the bow and stuff. If you want to take those back, you can. That's totally up to you. They won't fight you on it. They are just regular people, and you have a feeling that regular people might have a slight aversion to just straight up murdering, even if these guys really wronged them, you know, even if they were raised in captivity. These people, you're not sure what they're gonna do. You can ask them, but you're not sure if they're just gonna kill them or if they're just, you know, if they're gonna leave them there to, you know, get eaten by wolves or what they're gonna do. You're not sure what these people are gonna do. But normal people don't just murder somebody or like stab them while they're tied up, or, you know, it's a lot on the mental strain to kill somebody. It's a lot. So. Totally up to you if you want to ask them or if you want to just kind of let them do what they do.
Slaves, what shall you do with them? Leave them to the elements or take them into your own hands?
The old guy you've been talking to, who seems kind of like he's the leader of the slaves, he says, well, I think that maybe we should just leave them to the wolves. Might be better. We can cover them in some blood of their friends. That'll make the wolves real hungry.
Oh yeah, make sure they're tied up real nice and tight.
Yeah, and you know what else we could do? You know, we could we could take their oh no, you guys already took everything. Okay, there's nothing else we could do. he looks at you guys, he goes, I mean,
do you guys need anything? What were you looking for? Do you need something?
Do they have any money on them? You guys recall they didn't have much.
Listen, my friend. I had a very good day at the casino the other day. I could spare you a few pennies.
Okay. So that's up to you. How much you want to give there?
I need to look at how much I've got. One sec before I start throwing money.
Moonsy's gonna be here real soon. She said.
Cool. I will. How many slaves are there?
We got like
4.
80 gold or something from them last time, I think. Yeah.
Hopefully you marked it down, because a lot of times when I give loot, it's like when it's money or not something like a special, like a whip or a book of some kind. If it's just like money, I usually just come up with it off the top of my head. So you guys got to write it down whenever I say it.
I haven't added the money to my currency, but if Egrid said we have 80
We have
coins,
82 gold total from
I'm all right.
them, yeah.
I'm all right with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I speak out to the group and I say, shall we give these slaves 2 gold pieces each to get started on life? We'll give them a fresh lease of life, and they can get some food and some drink in them, and hopefully a roof over their heads.
Hey, it shall be done.
Do you think that they could sell the slave owners as slaves? Maybe. I mean, you could make some money.
I don't think we want to go anywhere near that business.
Okay, I mean, if you think that killing somebody by wolf is less, I mean, less moral. I don't know, less immoral. Like what? That's kind of like, you know, they get to live if you sell them and you make money. You know.
It ain't really like that. It's more like, well, the problem is we don't really have the ends to sell slaves. We don't really know who to sell them to or nothing like that. They got friends,
Fair
you
enough.
know. They got friends.
Yeah.
They got
yeah,
the
like
ends.
they probably have people like looking for them. Yeah, okay. I guess we can give them some gold.
All right.
Yeah.
So you give them of your 80. What did we say? 82 that you had. You give them 8 of it.
Yeah.
So bringing you down to 74. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're all very thankful. They kind of shake your hands and grab the gold pieces, and they seem very thankful. You know, 2 gold for someone is at least a couple months worth of money. So
We gave them their stimmies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give them their stimmies. The stimmies hit.
Slaves.
Oh my god. The slave stimmy hits so hard. Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so with that, Neffy, did you decide what you wanted to do, if you wanted to take that leap or not?
Yeah, so while all that was going on, Neffy was just slowly kind of creeping back, making her way over to the corpse that's just been calling to her. And the head, she kind of just looks around for the head, and when she finds it, she just scoops it up and kind of tries to just tumble it over by the body and push it together as best as she can. And she feels the power of Marabi flowing through her, and next thing she knows, the body.
Okay, so I'll describe it. Yeah, I'll describe it to you. So here's what happens. As you take the head and you kind of place it on the neck, you feel that familiar sense before. You've done this before with animals like random spiders that you found, squished on the ground, or one time you found a young little wolf pup that you brought back to life, and you've tested these powers throughout your time. You've tried these before, but nothing quite as intricate as this. And as you place the head on the neck, you feel this dark energy kind of overcome you, and as you do, you see your hands start glowing this kind of purpley pink color. And as you place your hands on the body, this purpley pink aura from your hand kind of envelops the entire body of this slave driver. And as it does, you see that where his neck was decapitated, you see these spider webs start to form and pull the neck and the head and the body together, linking it with these spider webs. And it's like stitches as these spider webs hold his neck in place. It's a little off. It's not perfectly like on where it's supposed to be, as his head's kind of turned the wrong way. Not like super wrong, like you'd have to be pretty close to notice, but it's definitely not on perfect. As the webs kind of cinch shut, and you hear a guttural noise coming from his throat. The rest of you guys just handed the gold to these slaves, and you start hearing a behind you. Neffy, your hands stop glowing, and as they do, you look into the eyes of this creature that you've just brought back, and his eyes are deep, like what's it called? Jet black. Like there's no pupils or anything in them. It's just like a deep jet black color. It's very creepy looking. And as he looks at you, he looks up at you and says, "Well, thank you, Toots. And he kind of like rolls onto his side, and he says, I see you've taken my my whip. And he kind of sits up straight. Well, it's yours now. I don't have any need for it. He seems much more mellow than when you last spoke to him. Of course, you were fighting him last time. But as he sits up straight, his neck kind of tilts a little bit. You can see the webbing kind of barely holding it together on the left side. And he kind of puts his hand on it to kind of hold his neck in place. And as he does, he kind of kinks his neck a little bit, and it makes a popping noise. And he seems like he is put together. You've brought this creature back to life. The rest of you have never seen anything like this before.
Nephi, ask him if God is real.
Is God real?
He says, well, if he is, I haven't seen him.
He's not real.
You're not sure? I mean,
Maybe-
this guy's literally a devil. It'd be like
I don't
asking
know.
Satan to
like,
dance
God-
with.
Egrid, maybe he just went to hell.
Oh, what's it like in hell?
He says, it's like home.
Heretic.
How did you bring him back to life? That's insane. Like, he's like a zombie.
Nephi just kind of awkwardly
Dark magic.
shrugs.
It's dark sided.
That's kind of nasty, not gonna lie. He
So-
smells.
You guys, he does smell a little weird for sure. He smells like sulfur. He smells like a fire, almost. And he does not seem to like back away from you, or he doesn't seem afraid of you. He's retained his personality in that he seems pretty standoffish towards you, but like somewhat friendly towards Nephi. Like the kind of friend that's like a dick, like a massive dick. Like, you know, would be there, you know, with you and kind of help you with something, but is the kind of person who you probably wouldn't ask for much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Frenemy. He's a frenemy. He's a frenemy with Nephi. The rest of you, he could give less of a shit about. And he says, "Yeah, thanks for bringing me back. That's nice. I feel stiff. That rigor mortis sets in real quick, doesn't it?" He kind of holds his arm in place. As he goes to stand up, his bones kind of creak a little bit. Some blood oozes from his neck holes as he stands up, but he doesn't seem to notice. And he says, "Well, I wanted to do this. This is why I called for you to bring me back." He kind of pulls one of his arms a little bit, pops it, and walks over to the two slave drivers who are tied up. And as he's walking over there, does anyone do anything? Does anyone want to like stop him or do anything?
Nephi just stands there uselessly. Just
He,
like, what is going on?
He
All the
saunters
color
over.
has drained from my face, and I'm just like standing there as a pole. I'm just kind of like,
I think I'm just gonna follow closely behind him just to make sure he doesn't like try to untie them or some weird shit.
Okay. As he walks over, he places his boot, which is like a cowboy boot, like a leather cowboy boot, right on one of their foreheads. And the guy who is this kind of fat, bearded guy who pissed himself is looking up at him, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, boss." And he says, "Yeah, all right, enough out of you." And he kicks him in the face and breaks his nose. And
What
he says, "That's pretty much all I wanted to do. That feels good." And the guy on the ground goes, "Oh no!" He's bleeding on the ground. His nose is bleeding. He's rubbing his beard and his face in it. And the other slave driver, who hasn't said much, who's tied up, he just kind of giggles, and he's just like, "Idiot." And so essentially, he wanted to be brought back to get a little bit of maybe a little bit of revenge on these guys for being pussies. For giving up when he died. You're not sure, but he definitely seemed pissed at them for maybe not following orders or something. And right now, you guys have a second chance to talk to this guy. You have a second chance to talk to him, and he's friendly towards Nephi at least. So he's willing to probably answer some of your questions, depending on what they are.
Perfect. So Nephi kind of perks up and remembers the book, and she pulls the book out of her
her bag and she kind of like scurries over towards the slave driver and just goes, "What is this?"
Nice book.
Thank you.
He
prop.
grabs it and he says, "That's my slave ledger," and he hands it back to you. What do you want?
Anyone else?
It's got my my business partners in it.
Oh.
Business partners.
Yeah, you want to go take care of the rest of them like you did me, huh?
Why are you suddenly turning on your business partners?
Yeah.
Why are you ratting them out? Snitches get stitches, bro. I'll pull your fucking webs out if you're not careful.
Fergus,
he kind
shut
of
the fuck up.
strokes his goatee. Strokes his goatee and he says, "Well, I don't really have a reason to hold any honor left, do I?"
No, you don't. You're pathetic and you should give up your fucking clients right now.
He says, "Well, maybe I will. What is your plan? What are you guys gonna do?"
Well, the treatment you just got, maybe a little bit worse for the rest of your wee buddies, will wipe out the slave trade forever.
He kind of he scratches his earlobe a little bit and picks at his earring, which is kind of falling out of his ear now. And as he picks at it, he kind of says, "Well, I'll be happy to read you some of this if you wish. The runes, though, I did not place those runes, so I can't help you get rid of them. But if you'd like, I can help you out."
It would be good if you could help us read it, but can you also give us a translation cheat sheet so that we can read it ourselves in future?
Infernal is one of the most difficult languages to learn on the face of the planet. You think I can just give you a cheat sheet?
I'm a quick learner.
Why do we need a cheat sheet? Do you not trust him, or do you not think he's telling us the truth?
I trust him, but I'm not dragging his.
Hold on.
I'm not dragging his decaying body halfway across the map.
Why do you trust him?
How can I tell where my languages are? Is that
they're in the bottom left.
Is there a way to get the truth out of him again? Can I persuade him to tell me the truth? Here's
a skill check that anyone can do at any time. It's called the insight check. It's right under intimidation.
Yeah.
That is to tell if somebody is lying. So
does anybody have high insight?
I got a +2.
I only have +1, so.
Casey might have good insight.
Mine's only 1.
Is it 1? Okay.
+4.
+4 on
Fergus,
insight. Okay.
ask him.
So Fergus, if you want to roll an insight, go for
it. Ferg.
Fergalicious.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh.
With an 11, to tell if this guy is lying is kind of hard, especially now that his face is a little deformed and he's kind of fucked up and bloody and he just doesn't look great. You can tell, first of all, that he knows that he's dead and that he definitely doesn't feel like he would be like a very honorable person. So snitching is probably not an issue for him. But you can also tell that there might be something he wants out of it that he just hasn't said yet. So that's what I'll give you with an 11 is he seems like he's going to tell you some truth, but you're not sure how much of it's truth and you're not sure why he's doing it. Like he has no reason to. Like you've heard.
Can another person roll an insight?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I rolled.
Okay, let me check here.
Oh, I also got an 11. What the hell?
Yeah, you got the same information.
Oh,
so with that, you two have kind of gotten pretty much what your party's going to glean just from this initial look at him. So that'll kind of maintain throughout this conversation is you're not really sure if he's lying or not. But Neffy, you also know that you have a connection with him and that you gave him his opportunity to come back to life even for a little while. You're not sure why he wanted to come back other than kick that guy in the nose. He doesn't seem too concerned with being dead. So you're not exactly sure about him, but there's a lot of questions you could ask here, and I'm going to let you guys as a party talk about it and discuss. And this is a good chance to really kind of role play out a character who could give you a lot of information right now. See if you can get some stuff out of him. This is part of the game. Go for it. You talk it out.
Well, I think that he seems to be like he would be very helpful for us, but he could also potentially be very dangerous, and we don't know what exactly he's hiding, and I don't know if like we can trust him. So I'm just worried, but also kind of like hesitant to, not take him with us.
You have him for 24 hours. And you can dismiss him whenever you want, Neffy. You can, at the snap of a finger, you can just snap your fingers and he'll fall over dead.
Hey, so he can lead us right to where the slave owners are.
That's
We
a
can
good
kill them all in their sleep. In and out real quick.
What if he's trying to get us to kill somebody that he like has bad ties with, because he wanted to hurt that other guy, maybe he wants to hurt more people, and what if he ends up leading us to somebody who isn't even a slave driver and we end up killing them? I don't know, I'm just paranoid. I'm a little worried, honestly.
But what if he does lead us to the slave driver?
I know. How do we know though? How do we know?
You could always
How do we
ask
know
him.
they're slave drivers?
I feel like he won't
perception
lie.
if he's lying.
So
Okay.
whenever you ask a question to an NPC, even if you've already rolled an insight on, for example, right now you re-rolled an insight to see if he was lying, if you could tell, whether he was on your side or not. Now, if you ask him any specific questions like, hey, what's this person's name? Or where is this person located? When he answers, you can roll a new insight check because that's a specific question. You know what I mean? You're looking for a specific answer and you can tell whether he's lying or not about it. The insight that you rolled earlier was just to see if you believed everything he said or not. And
okay,
you don't. So what specific questions do you have for him? He's kind of taunting the slaves a little bit, as he's kind of tilting his head and looking at them. They're all kind of backing up a little bit. They seem very afraid of him, and he goes, "Boo!" and a few of them jump.
Hey, leave him alone.
Oh, okay,
that's kind
all right.
kind of funny.
Is there any way that Neffy would know if he was lying since she brought him back, or is that just whatever?
I'll give you advantage on an insight check since he is your kind of pawn right now. He can still lie to you, but I'll give you an advantage, which means you roll twice, take the higher number on your insight checks with him specifically, since he is kind of your ward.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So with that, what kind of questions do you guys have for him? You can talk it out, discuss as a group. He is patiently waiting.
Oh, I guess while they're going through all of this, Neffy thinks back to how they handed all that gold to the slaves, and she kind of reaches in her pockets and realizes, hey, I'm kind of poor. So she takes the book and points to the list of names in there, and she says, which one of these clients has the most money?
He looks at the ledger and kind of smiles this toothy grin, and he points his finger with this long black fingernail at the third name down on a list that's in the middle of the book, and he says, this entire page is other slave drivers in the area pay me good money for my slaves, and I pay them good money for theirs. It's kind of insider trading. And a lot of the trading we do is to keep these slaves on the move so that anyone who's looking for them can't find them. So we trade them between our acreages. And he points to the third name down. He says, Oswald Nickelbottom. Right there. And he points to a name that's written in Infernal. You're not sure if he's saying the right name, but if you want, you can roll an insight check, Susu. And if you want to roll that insight check, hit shift before you click on the insight button, and it'll roll with advantage. Just hold down shift and click, and it should roll twice for you.
Ooh, I think I did it.
Yep, you did it. Nice.
Ooh.
So you got a 21.
Juicy.
And as he says that, he seems like he's telling the truth. This person that he pointed to is named Oswald Nickelbottom. And Oswald Nickelbottom is a slave trader. that does give him lucrative business, it seems. You don't know where he's at or anything about him other than just his name. You just asked, the name.
So Neffy kind of like squints her eyes and is like, well, we could get some good coin off this Oswald Nickelbottom, and with money creates power, she says to the group.
The slave owner grins a big toothy grin like he did before, and he says, I like you. I like you.
What do you all think about that?
I love money.
Hell yeah. Neffy doesn't say that. I said that.
It's okay. Perfect. The rest of the party, you hear this, so you can insight in any of these conversations, and you can also talk and interrupt, or you can say whatever you want in this conversation. You can ask him questions too. It's totally up to you. You're all part of this together. I'm just not having Tyria or Crocus or Leon do anything specifically at the moment.
They're in the bathroom.
Yeah. They're chilling like a villain.
How far away are we from this Nickelbottom?
He says, well, I'd say it's few days walk southwest from here. We've been traveling for almost a week chasing these slaves.
Hey, can you lead us to him?
Well, I know that, and he kind of looks down at where his watch would be, and he looks around for it. It's laying on the ground. He kind of walks over and picks up this kind of broken watch off the ground. He says, looks like I've got, about 23 hours and 45 minutes left. So, I don't think I could get you there.
Well, if we find Oswald Nickelbottom, since he has the most money, he must have the most connections. He could help us find the rest of them. Neffy's trying to pretend like she's not mostly interested in the money, but
it's true. We can donate some money to the gods. We can do our tithing.
Up to you guys.
What does everyone think about pursuing Oswald Nickelbottom?
Just know that you've got your quest that you're on right now. This might be something that you could do on the way back, or something like that. But you're kind of, I'll say Crocus kind of pops up and she says, I think we can do this after we find my mom, and then we can do this, okay?
The young girl wants to find a mom. So sad.
You're muted, Jinx.
Let's find her mom, and then let's go find this Nickelbottom guy, and let's rob him fucking blind. Okay, eat the rich. Am I right? And I know that Tyria can't say shit.
Smart.
Yeah, say something, Tyria.
Say something, Tyria. You won't.
Whatever, P-Grid. So, you've got a little bit of a side quest here that you can go on. Let's see. He takes a look at your map, because you guys got a map from Romulus. Mm-hmm. So he takes a look at your map, and with his dirty fingernail, he circles a spot where Oswald's acreage would be. So you guys know where to go. He says, I can't take you there, but that's where it is. Somewhere around there.
Do you have any tips on how to get in there? Like if there's a secret back door, or if he sleeps at weird hours, or if he has a schedule, anything about that?
Yeah, I like this one. She thinks a lot. Really, I mean, it's a pretty classic acreage. It's like a big farm, and he's got about 70 or so slaves that he takes care of there. I'd say the best time to visit the farm would probably be either when he's holding an auction, which is usually on Saturdays, or you could do it at night. He sleeps like everyone else. He's a human. Fucking humans.
Oh, so he's weak. I see.
He's weak and fat and slow, but he does have a lot of security.
So, are the security his slaves?
No, not that I don't think so. No, I think he's like I said, he makes a lot of money. He's very lucrative.
Okay, so does he have 70 security guards?
No.
Do you know how many?
I don't know. Whenever he's come to one of our auctions, he usually has a few with him.
Okay. I was thinking, like, maybe we could, like, get the slaves to help us and then set them free. I don't know. We could, like, overtake the guards and get to him, and then,
Sure.
everybody's happy.
Hey,
Sure.
would the slaves be interested in freeing some of their friends,
Probably.
fellow slaves?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think we're also just overthinking the plan of attack. I am a sneaky wee bastard, and I'm 3'2", so I could just sneak in at the dead of night, crawl around, and stab him in his neck while he's asleep. I can slip past all the guards. You can all cause a distraction. I'll sneak into the house and have his head off.
Neffy pipes up too. She's like, "I'm sneaky too. I can crawl on the walls too. Fergus and I could do the job."
You guys,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea and all, but like they're still slaves. Like there's probably just going to be somebody to replace that guy, right? Like somebody else is just going to come in and be a fucking slave driver, and then all of these slaves are still not going to be freed. Like,
not if nobody
sucks.
knows he's not dead.
Are you looking for the leader of the slave drivers? He kind of laughs.
No, I just like want to set these slaves free. It's just like we have the opportunity to do it, I mean, and also if we're gonna rob him, like it's gonna be hard to get all of his possessions without his guards knowing. I mean, do they protect him at night when he's sleeping? I'm
not sure.
I
don't
have
know
a
everything
plan.
about him.
Neffy has a plan. If we kill him, he can be my little puppet, kind of like this guy. And she points to the slave driver.
You can do this more than once a day?
Well, it doesn't have to be in the same day, remember, because we still want to find the mom.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it would have to be like after like a long rest.
Okay, great. Okay. My worries are
And
solved.
as
we could
this guy
sneak
also
him.
said, it's a 3 days walk to even get to this place as well. So it's going to be a while before you were able to get there.
Yeah. That
We
makes
could
sense.
sneak in. Neffy and I could sneak in, kill the guy, and then Neffy could reanimate him and then make him set all his slaves free, and he can fire all his guards as well. And in that way, the guards won't ever come back to work, and the slaves are free to go, and they'll
give us all
think
of his expensive stuff.
and they'll think that nothing's happened except he's just gotten bored of the slave driving life. But in reality, we've killed that fucker.
It's a great plan.
It's a good plan. Just make sure that you don't do this shit to him. It's pretty obvious. Points to his neck, which has been decapitated.
I kind of brandish one of my daggers, and I'm like, "Listen, mate."
Oh, nice.
I'm like, don't just ignore the fact that my knife's missing the tip, please. I'm like, listen, I'm highly skilled with these things. I can make it look like you're dead, and not even a forensic scientist could find out where the cut is.
He kind of chuckles a little bit and he says, well, "I believe that you're very very good with the bow as well." And he points to his collarbone, which still has an arrow sticking out of it.
Okay.
You know, mate. You know it.
I
kind of just like brandish my bow in front of him. I just kind of like hold it up, and I'm like, "Yeah."
He goes,
"This bad boy right here."
he smiles a little bit and he kind of furrows his eyebrows. He goes, "I'm so scared. What are you gonna do? Kill me again?"
I can if you want me to.
No, we need him.
Do it.
He instinctively goes to like grab where his whip is, and he looks down and grabs nothing, and he looks over at Neffy, who's got the whip, and he goes, "It looks better on you than me anyway."
So is that the only name that's in the book that you can tell us?
No, do you want to know the other 8 that are on the page?
More, please. Yeah.
Neffy just kind of rips out a piece of paper from the book and pulls out a little quill and slaps it on the front of the page.
Okay. He writes them down. Somebody make a note in the Discord chat for me to put those names in. I don't have them all off the top of my head, just the important
All right,
ones.
I'll do that. Yeah, we can just think of them.
So he writes down a total of 9 names that were on this page, and one of them is Oswald Nickelbottom. Okay. He says to Shisa, "Just because I'm sure you'll want to know, there is no leader of the slave drivers. We're all just kind of our own thing. None of us are more powerful than the others." Speaking of which,
so you're all a bunch of like, scumbags.
And easy to kill.
could say that, but I don't think this would have gone nearly as well if you came back to my acreage. Speaking of which, he points to your map and circles his acreage. Feel free to let the slaves go there, because they're all going to die and stink up the place anyway if I don't feed them, so...
I'm surprised you even feed them.
I need them to do work. Kind of laughs.
All right, then.
Whatever
So we've got
you
our
say.
little side quest here.
To take down the slave trade on this continent. It's a big side
This
quest.
might be a bizarre question for you here, sir, but you wouldn't happen to know of a seed that has a god inside of it somewhere in this field, and then I point to this map. I know this is a long shot for your tiny little brain, but if you know anything about a godlike seed in this field, can you kind of give us any help on finding it? My pal Crocus back here is trying to find their parents, and for some reason, her mum's in a fucking seed, so we need some help. If you know anything, maybe we'll reanimate you again later on and bring you back to life for a pint or two.
He says, "Well, I know damn well that that's not possible. And Neffy, you also know that that's not possible, as he will turn to dust when you release him from this, or in 24 hours.
She just stands there awkwardly.
He says, and of course, whenever you bring somebody back, if they're an intelligent being, they know all this information. Like, they know that they're on a clock, and they know how long the clock is, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he says, "There's no need to be a dickhead about it. My brain is not small; it's average sized, I think." And as he kind of smiles a little bit, he says, "About the seed, I've heard about it. Sure, I mean everyone in the area's heard about it. It's what allows the crops to grow, the forests to blossom, the animals to flourish. I've not ever seen the seed, of course. Nobody ever has. Because if they did, they'd probably take it and try and sell it for 100,000 gold pieces or something. It's very, very well hidden. But from what I've heard, there are creatures who guard the seed. And they hide themselves in the tall corn. So, that's all I know."
Okay.
Corn monsters.
So we need to look for heavily guarded corn.
As far as I've heard, you'll never see them coming. So, looking for something guarded isn't going to help you. It's literally, as far as I've heard, out in the middle of a cornfield somewhere that's miles and miles long, and who knows how deep in the dirt or the soil it is, and those creatures, I've heard, just eat people and leave no remains. So
okay.
Nobody
so
tries
on the plus
it.
side, we can narrow our search down to a field of corn. There's many fields of corn in this area, but there are also many other fields. So at least it helps us narrow it down a little bit.
True. And that is true. There's a lot of different types of crops are in this area, but you know for sure now that it's in a cornfield somewhere.
Awesome.
Any other questions you have for him? You can literally ask him whatever you want, and we'll role play it out, whatever it is.
Okay, Neffy has a question.
Mhm.
And she kind of just looks like embarrassed and kind of starts fiddling with her hands and pulling on her skirt. And she's like, how many legs for a girl is too many?
He says, oh, I think you look perfect.
She just kind of was like, looking happy. And
Happy that the slave driver thinks she's hot.
she's got self-esteem issues, okay? Let her get her validation.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty, like, I don't know, crass and kind of careless person. But that was kind of a nice thing to say.
Well, anyone else?
I think I've asked this gentleman what I need to know.
Okay.
I'm happy to let him turn to dust.
Okay.
He can also accompany you if you need it.
So there's going to be like a list of the names that you're going to write out for us?
Yeah, I'm just telling you as the DM that those names will become like smaller side quests. You've gotten the big name of someone who will give you then like kind of the next step in the quest. You know what I mean? Like if we're playing WoW right now, your exclamation mark is on Oswald Nickelbottom, and the other stuff along the way is just, smaller. So those other names aren't quite as important, but I will come up with them. I just don't have them right now.
Okay.
Okie doke.
I got it.
That list for you. All right. So with that, you guys are going to leave the slaves to take care of the 2 tied up criminals, or what is your plan with that?
Unless they want to come with us to free the rest of their slaves. That's where we're heading, right? We're going to the fields.
None of them seem too interested in going back to the acreage to try and free the rest of the slaves. They all seem like they're not much fighters. They're not going to be much use to you. And heading back that way, one of them kind of pipes up. Younger guy, he says, "I don't really want to head back that way because what if we get caught?"
You have my blessing.
I don't want to be a slave again.
Good luck to ye.
So he kind of bows.
Keep your head up.
He does. He kind of keeps his chin up a little bit. And he says, "Thank you very much." And he kind of walks off into the forest alone. One of the other slaves, kind of middle-aged guy, looks after him, kind of looks back at the guy who just walked away, looks at you guys, nods his head, kind of does one of these like hand motions at you like a thank you, and then walks and follows him into the forest. The older man, now left here with the 2 slaves, is taking one of the bodies of the other slave owners that you killed, and is brings like one of the arms of the body over them and like slices the arm so that blood drips on them, and he's like, "The wolves are gonna be eating good tonight," as he drips blood on them and leaves them next to a tree, tied up. If you guys want to do anything specifically other than that, that's pretty much what happens.
I'm pretty satisfied.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's find this seed.
And the tiefling, the slave driver, the leader who you brought back to life, he says, "Do you want me to come with you just until my time's up, or there's just one thing I wanted to do before I go."
So Neffy's just like, "What is it?"
He looks at the book and he says, I wanted to say something and make a little note."
So she hands him the book.
Okay. Anyone, so you can interject here if you want to be like, no, I don't want that to happen, or anything. Like, if anyone wants to say anything. I'm only saying that because I don't want you to feel like I'm running the show here and like you can't object to him. This is a person just like another character or player. You could talk to them and tell them, no, you can't do that or whatever. He's asking nicely, but, you may be skeptical. Somebody is listening on the other side of this book. You're not sure what he's going to write in it. So up to you whether you want to let him do that or you can ask him what he's going to do, like specifically.
Well, Neffy begins to hand him the book.
Okay. He grabs the leather-bound book and goes to take it from your hands.
Anyone?
Okay. So he unbinds it. He takes the quill that you gave him to write down names before, and he opens to the very last page of the book. And as it's open, he says, "This is Deacon Rames signing off for the last time. Don't expect me to come back to the acreage. And if you want to take more slaves, do it your fucking self." And he writes a little memo in the back of the book. And as he does with this ink, he writes something in Infernal. And as he does, you see the words that he wrote kind of light up a reddish color on this back page. And you're not sure what they say. But he closes the book and hands it back to you. And he says, "Thanks. Appreciate that."
What'd you write in there?
"Fuck you." I'm not saying that to you, Egrid. I wrote "fuck you."
What'd you write in there? Why aren't you telling us?
No, I wrote "fuck you." Really, I wrote that. That's what I wrote. It was fuck.
Can I roll a check to see if you're lying or not?
Yep. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Okay.
With a 5, it's hard to tell. You're not sure if he's lying or telling the truth. Anyone else can roll an insight as well if they want.
Hey, what'd you write in there? Oh shit.
You rolled lower. Yeah.
Oh no.
Not sure. You're not sure if he's lying. I mean, it's hard to tell. But he seems earnest in what he's saying. So he said that there was nobody in charge. There was no leader of the slave owners. And you have a feeling that he was telling the truth when he said that there was no leader of the slave owners, but it sounded like he was talking to someone who was in control of him or was bossing him around or something, because he said, "Find the rest of the slaves yourself," when he was talking to the book. So he sounded like he was talking to an almightier being of some kind as he was speaking, but maybe not a leader of slave owners, maybe his leader, maybe his personal leader of some kind.
Were you talking to that book?
He says, "Well, yeah, I've got someone I needed to check in with, and I just wanted to make sure to tell him that I fucking hated him before I left."
Understandable. Okay.
Why'd you just not open the book then? If you don't want to talk to him and you hate him, why you keep opening the book?
Well, being alive actually was a bit of a downfall for me. It's kind of nice being dead. It's liberating, actually. And being alive, I was under contract with him. No longer anymore, though.
What caused you to be under contract with the book?
It's not a book. There's a deity in the 9 hells. And he kind of looks down at the ground beneath your feet. And he kind of shrugs and he says, "Or so they say in the church." Which is,
what's his name?
They say.
What's the deity's name?
He says, "I wish I could say, but
you can't even say his name.
If I said his name, your ears would bleed and you'd go mad."
I see.
Ooh.
So you're afraid of him.
As you should be as well. Try not to ever come in contact
Why
with him.
should I be?
He laughs.
I just won't read the book. I don't know how to read anyway.
He laughs. He says, "Well, whatever you do, keep that book shut when you're talking about important things, because he's always listening."
So Neffy just kind of starts spinning a little web around the book.
You tie it up
and
real
then puts
nice,
it back
the webs.
In, yeah, then puts it back in her
Nobody's
bag.
opening that but you. You can open your webs real easy, but everyone else kind of struggles with it.
So Neffy's going to be in control of the book then? Is everybody all right with that?
Okay.
Aye.
Can did you guys take those or no? He kind of like pats around his pockets. In his back pocket of his pants, there's a crumpled up cigarette that is like some of the tobacco is falling out, and he puts it in his mouth and snaps his fingers, and as he does, nothing happens, and he goes, "Oh shit, right. No more contract. Anyone have a light?" Seems like he used to be able to make fire somehow, and he can't anymore. Kind of related to that book.
Hi.
So you
So
give
you
him a light?
sold your soul to the book?
He's
what?
kind of leaning forward for a light on his cigarette. He says, "Do you mind?"
Casey, yeah. I mean,
Hey,
Pigrid.
I do mind.
Okay. Do you light him?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you light him, it's kind of like half a cigarette. He takes a big hit off the cigarette, and he says, as he breathes the smoke out, first thing that you notice when he's inhaling is smoke is coming out of his neck holes first. As he's inhaling in, the smoke kind of seeps out of his cut open neck, and then as he blows the smoke out, it kind of forms into the shape of like devil horns, kind of. And he gives a sly smirk, and he says, "Yeah, I sold my soul to the devil. Sure, you could say that. One of the many devils that are out there, but this one, particularly a dick."
Why'd you do it?
Money, power.
In return for what?
Money, power,
and power?
sex, all the good stuff in life.
So it's like the slavery god?
The slavery.
He kind of like points his finger at you and like raises an eyebrow and then takes a hit off of his cigarette.
That's scary.
Oh, I see.
There's no god of slavery, but maybe there's a demon of it.
By the way, I'm eating a piece of one of my baguettes right now.
Sounds good. That's what she's just stuffing her mouth with.
Yeah, I'm eating my bread. I got hungry.
Yeah, you got like a bunch of loaves.
That's why I was being bitchy. I was really hungry. I'm sorry for telling you to shut the fuck up earlier, Fergus. I apologize.
Oh,
Hey.
Don't worry. You could say anything to me and I would say thanks.
If we want to kill him, can we just destroy the book? Can I try to like cut the book or like light the book on fire or something?
You can try. That's up to you as a party, right? It's a big artifact for you. It could be useful still if you find someone who can undo the runes on it, because he said he didn't put the runes in there. So you have a feeling that person he talked to was probably the one who made this book and made those runes. And if you can find someone that can dispel those runes, you might have way more information to work with and maybe something interesting to do.
So the Nephie's like, she puts her arms out like, no. trying to guard the book.
How do we get rid of the demon? Do you even know?
You're asking.
We have to perform an exorcism.
Okay. So Deacon says, if I had a clue, you think I'd probably do something about it, but I don't. I don't even know how to get rid of those runes in the book.
Perhaps it has something to do with the runes. We need to find somebody who can read them.
He gives the classic line to you guys. He says, "Perhaps you and I are not so different." He says as he looks at all of you, and he says, "You know, you have people you answer to, and I had people I answered to, and it's kind of nice. Like I said, thank you. Kind of nice being freed from that. Of course, it sucks being dead, but you know, it's a bit freeing actually."
The Nephie's like, it's okay. Soon you'll be Ash. But she doesn't say it like in a clever way. She's just literally trying to help.
Yeah, he laughs and he kind of looks down and takes the last hit off of his cigarette, which really only had like 4 or 5 hits in it because it was like half a cigarette. And he tosses the butt on the ground and stumps it out. And he says, "Well, are you all off to get a seed then? Is that the plan?"
Hey, that's the plan. Maybe try to find somebody to read these ruins.
Well, then maybe we should be off. And he looks back at the other slave drivers and he says, "So long, suckers." and they're both kind of covered in blood. They've been gagged by the old man. He put some cloths in their mouth, and they are like tied up next to a tree, hog-tied, and you can already hear the sounds of wolves as it is late at night. It's very late.
I guess we better be heading out then.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
All right, so you guys pack up your camp, and we're gonna get you guys a long rest. So at the top of your character sheet, there's a button that says "Take long rest." Click on that button, and then click on Submit. It should be at the top of your character sheet on D&D Beyond. That'll refresh all of your abilities and your health and everything else. If you haven't done that already.
All right, I just did it.
Perfect.
Oh my god, what happened to my health?
Yeah, I think you got hit a couple times.
I got 8. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So, with that, you wake up in the morning. You're about a couple miles from where you left those people to get eaten by wolves. So you took a little bit of a walk that night and slept. Got a good rest. You had your new friend, the slave driver, basically just stay awake all night because he doesn't need to sleep. So he just watched, and he would have told you if something would have come or tried to attack you. Specifically Neffy, he would have cared to tell you if something were to happen. And as you all wake up, he says, "Oh, good morning, all. You all sleep like disgusting mortal humans, even though you're not all human. Except for you." And he points over to Tyria, who doesn't have to sleep.
Hey, at least we're not dead. At least we don't have holes in our throat. Can't even get a full inhale on your cigarette.
He says,
You
"Oh,
lose all the
good one.
smoke. You can't even inhale it into your lungs because there's holes in it."
Good one."
I hope you can't smell, because it must be horrible having to smell yourself.
I actually can't. I can't smell or taste anything.
Well, you're really fucking lucky.
It's true.
Neffy sniffs. He's like, not that bad. Not that bad.
He kind of looks at you and scratches his head between his horns and he says, "Well, I've got about 10 hours left. So, what do we think we're gonna do?"
You gotta search for the seed.
Okay. Well, as I pointed to on your map, you've got still a couple days walk to get there. We can retcon this, as in, what I mean by retcon is we can go back and change this. Did you guys want to grab the horses that he had?
Yeah, we'll say we did that. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So they had 4 horses. So you don't have enough for all of you guys, but you do have 4 horses, which is good for, I think, probably best for like Egrid to ride on a horse, because the armor would kind of wear down and make it kind of rough. Maybe Fergus, because he's got tiny legs.
Tiny legs.
Couldn't Fergus like ride with somebody?
True.
Like on top of?
Yeah, I'd be okay with
Yeah.
that.
Fergus and Neffy maybe could, because they're small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you ride a horse, Neffy, how do you imagine that you do it? I'm not going to say that you can't. I'm just curious how you would do it. Would you like wrap your legs kind of around the stomach by sitting on the back? You'd wrap
She's
your
like
legs
one
around?
of them. She's one of them small spiders, so her legs can't get all the way around.
So you're just kind of
So
like
she
sitting
just
on it,
kinda,
but
like-
like with 8 legs. I like that. Okay. And yeah, Fergus, you're on the back with her. Leon can probably walk alongside because he's got long legs. And then Shisa, I don't know how you'd ride a horse. Be kind of hard with if you've got a snake tail. But that's up to you. Do you want to have a snake tail or do you want to have legs? Or
I have legs.
okay, just want to make sure. All right. So yeah, you could ride on one. Tyria, I guess Tyria would probably fight somebody to ride on one. She would definitely want to ride on a horse, I think. So you guys can decide who's on horseback and who's walking. If you want to argue with Tyria, you can, but I bet she would hop on a horse first before anybody. So Shisa or Egrid or one of you two, or Crocus, I guess, is walking.
She doesn't deserve it.
Crocus
Get
can walk.
Tyria off of that horse. She doesn't deserve it.
She says, "What do you know, Pigrid? This is my horse now."
We're looking for Crocus's mother. Let Crocus upon the horse.
Well, Crocus is large. She can walk.
Are you calling Crocus fat, Tyria? That's pretty low.
And if I was?
Crocus would probably cry. Don't listen to her, Crocus. You're beautiful.
Crocus says, "Oh no, I don't mind. It's okay." Because I feel like that's what Moonsy would say. So
all right.
It doesn't really matter who's riding on the horses, but it kind of does matter at the same time. So I think Neffy and Fergus are riding on a horse. Tyria is on a horse right now, unless somebody's going to push her off. Egrid's on a horse, and then there's one more horse for Shisa, Leon, or Crocus to ride on. And you can decide.
I guess it would make more sense for Shisa because Leon and Crocus are both bulls, right? Basically. Like both.
Neither of them would complain. Neither of them would complain about walking.
I think Shisa should get it too.
Yeah, I definitely should get a horse because, their boots are made for walking and mine just aren't.
Yeah, that's just what they'll do.
Mine are freshly evolved human legs.
They're
right. Very useless.
Okay, perfect. So you guys walk onward down the trail through this forest and out into the open fields of the massive acreages in this area of the continent. There are farms and crop fields as far as the eye can see as you leave the forest trail behind you. Some of these trails walk between the fields, and a lot of them kind of zigzag around them. None of them really go through the fields. So the trail that you're on, you're kind of surrounded by different types of crops and cornfields. You see some farmers that are using their oxes to kind of mow down fields of wheat and things like that. And they kind of wave at you as you go by. You're not near any of the slave farms, as far as you know. You're on the east side of this kind of area. Those slave farms seem to be on the west side, as your new friend said. And,
I reckon we shall start heading west then.
So you know that the seed that you're looking for is somewhere in the southeast, which is where you're headed. The slave farms are in the west. So that'll be a side quest that you kind of do after you find the seed. And you've got a while to walk. And as the day is kind of rolling onward, it's hot. The sun is kind of beating down. You guys are nibbling on rations and food. And you come across a large farm. It's got a big windmill and a big farmhouse. And here you see a few people working out in the fields. They look like they're wearing overalls. They all look human. And they're kind of hoeing down some spots for crops in an area. It looks like they just harvested maybe some pumpkins. You're not sure. And one of them kind of waves at you. And they say, as he's out in the field, he says, "How y'all doing, travelers?" This is looks like a late 20s, early 30s human who is just working out in the field. Not sure if he is the farmer or one of the farmers of this farm, but it looks like a very large plantation.
Hey, I'm getting hungry. Perhaps we should ask if he could take us in for the night.
Ooh,
offering some gold.
And Neffy's like, the corn.
I want some of that home cooking.
I think I can probably ask.
Up to you guys.
So I'm gonna walk up to him and I'm just going to I'm gonna be like, "Hi, we're doing okay. Thank you for asking. That's really nice of you.
He stops
you're like the friendliest
the
person we've seen in a long time."
He tips his hat, just straw hat. He's like I said, he's kind of like late 20s, early 30s, and he's got a big mole on his cheek that kind of has a few hairs sticking out of it, and he says, "Well, people, coming down to the close of our day, I got time to talk to some travelers. Thought I'd say hello. A few people come by, but no one's real strange looking like y'all. Y'all are very strange looking." He kind of points to you all, and he says, "I ain't never seen nobody that looks like y'all."
We get that very often, actually. And then I look over at Neffy and I kind of giggle at her 8 legs.
I'll assure you there's nothing to worry about. Though we are an odd group, we are good people. And I was actually meaning to ask you, do you have any space for us to sleep here tonight? Maybe we were kind of looking for a place, or no, not a place to stay. We actually needed a place to eat. We needed some food. We're hungry. We just got attacked by some slave drivers, and we had to defend ourselves, and it was brutal. And we just really need
sleep too.
Need some food and maybe some rest too, even.
Well, shit. What do y'all think, boys? And he kind of hollers back to a group of 4 guys who are just finishing up what looks like pitchforking some hay bales. Bays of hail is what I was gonna say. Yeah, some hay bales, and they couple of them shrug. One of them goes, "Yeah, sure, why not? We got plenty of food."
We can help you with the cooking. And then I point at Tyria.
Tyria says, "I don't help the common folk like that."
That is what she would
disgusting say. Anyway.
She doesn't say it really loud enough for the farmer to hear, but she says, she does say this loud enough for the farmer to hear. "Do you have Egyptian cotton sheets?" And the farmer's like, "No, we got some hay stacks you can sleep on." And she kind of turns up her nose a little bit. With that, the farmer seems receptive, a bit skeptical of you, but receptive. And he finishes his job as he points towards the farmhouse for you guys. He says, Y'all can go meet the lady of the house. She's in the farmhouse. Her name's Sharon. She's my wife."
Neffy's already inside the house.
Yeah, we start heading up and I don't know, put the horses to the side or something.
They have a little stable. They have a little stable you can put them in. And so you guys head into the farmhouse, and I would imagine Leon would maybe offer to stay out and help him finish up his work here in the field. So Leon kind of stays out and helps him with that. Crocus probably would too, being a nature kind of person, would help him do his harvesting and that kind of thing. So as you guys go in the farmhouse with Tyria with you as well, and I should say, you have a dead body with you, walking with you. What do you want to do with him? Do you want to just have him walk in with you, or do you think you would dismiss him before you guys went inside?
Neffy just kind of starts spinning more webs around his neck. She spins them so they look like a little scarf.
Okay.
So, yeah, try to disguise him.
You know that he's got about 2 hours left. He's got about 2 hours left on his timer at this point. So, with that, you guys head inside, and you can smell the smell of sweet corn being cooked. You can smell some smoked meats of some kind, and what smells also like some fresh bread as well being baked. And as you come into the farmhouse, it's a large wooden house with 3 different stories. And as you walk in, you see a group of people who are kind of sitting at a table playing cards. And this group of people, they seem older, in their late 60s, early 70s, like older men, and they're playing cards at the dining table that is right down the hall from the front door. And one of them, as you come in, you hear him go, "Ah, shit!" And he throws his hand of cards down, and the other guys start, and they start taking his chips away from him. The smell you're smelling is coming kind of from the left-hand side of the house, and you walk your way over there, and you see a plump young woman who is wearing a beautiful linen apron, who is kind of slaving away, and I don't mean like as a slave, you know, she's working hard, as she is like doing 3 different things. She's got a pot of corn that's boiling, she's got steaks that are cooking on an open fire, and she has a big stone oven that has a freshly browned loaf of bread that is kind of sticking out of it. And she is making what looks like a pretty intense meal. As you can see, the pot she's cooking the corn in has like 30 ears of corn that she's doing all at once.
Hi.
I'm
Who
gonna
all
smell
are
the
you
bread.
cooking for? You always cook for this many people?
She turns around. Shisa kind of walks up to the bread to smell it. She looks at you all and she says, "Well, howdy. Welcome, y'all. Yeah, I'm cooking for well, looks like I'm cooking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus the 4 outside. Looks like I'm cooking for at least 15.
Well, you got room for all us?
She says, "Depends on your appetites." And she says, "You want to come give me a hand?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be obliged.
Okay. So, everyone who wants to help out in the kitchen, go ahead and roll me a... Let's go with... Roll me a... Oh, what's a good check for this one? We're going to go with a survival check. Survival's like cooking.
God. Oh, I got a +2, actually. I'm not so bad.
Roll me a survival check. Anyone who wants to help out in the kitchen. Tyria does not help at all.
My roll 20 just closed. Give me 2 seconds.
You're good. You're good.
I guess Egard's clumsy in the kitchen.
That's okay. Okay.
It's all that forbidden leaf she's smoking.
We'll wait for Rossi to get in. Take my pill.
Pop a perk and I'll pass out.
Papa Perk. Wow, that sounds like a great like rapper name. Papa Perk.
Papa Perk. That is a pretty good rap name.
Okay. All right. So,
Wait, would he be Lil Xan's dad?
Lil
Sorry,
Xan and
okay,
Papa
I'll
Perk.
stop.
Oh my God, Lil Xan featuring Papa Perk. I love it. All right. So Egrid and Fergus, you guys are kind of clustered in here with everybody else, and it's kind of hard to really do much to help because she seems to like kind of take over as you guys come in. She points you to go do different things. Egrid, she has you cutting up some potatoes, peeling some potatoes for her. Sorry. And it's harder than you might think to peel potatoes right. So you leave a lot of them with the skins on. But she says, "You know, that's okay, dear. That's all right. The skins ain't never gonna hurt nobody. They got all kinds of minerals in them. They're good." Classic mom.
Hi.
Fergus, as you're helping out, you are stirring the ears of corn, and as you do, the pot kind of slips off the stove and starts pouring a bunch of water on the ground. You don't lose any of the ears of corn, but you get a big gush of hot water that splashes on your feet and burns the top of your feet, which sucks. And you push it back on the oven. And she says, "Oh, you all right? You okay?" You're going to take 2 points of damage, which is not going to matter, I'm sure. But you are going to take 2 points of fire damage.
What do they mean? I'm on 6 HP.
Oh my God, you're gonna die in the kitchen.
She says, "Oh my God."
Death by suicide. Death by boiling water, even.
She says, "Are you okay? Oh man, here, take some of this." And she gives you a cold towel to put on your feet. She says, "You go wait in the dining room with the older folks. They'll welcome you in." So she has you head out of the kitchen so you don't get hurt. Jinx, with an 11, you're able to slice up the bread just fine and make enough slices for everyone to have a nice piece of hot, fresh bread. And
I know my way around a loaf of bread, all right.
Yeah, exactly. And then Neffy, as you are helping out in the kitchen, you come up to her and she is kind of looking around for stuff for you to do. And she asks you, hey, do you think you could cook these steaks for me, keep an eye on them? And once they're all medium rare, think you could take them off?
So Neffy starts sticking webs to the like steaks so that she can lift them easily, and they turn out fantastic.
Yes, they do.
Trust.
They do. With a 19, they turn out great, and the webs burn off from the heat, so you don't have any webs on any of the food, and it's perfect. So with that, you guys create a really nice meal, and Leon, Crocus, and the farmer gentleman from outside, along with the other 3 farmers that were working out in the field, they all come inside together, and you all sit at the big dining room table, which can seat like 30 people inside this huge kind of farmhouse mansion. Fergus, you're the first one to be in here with the older gentlemen who are playing cards, and as you walk in, one of them kind of looks down at you and the cold towel that's on your feet, and oops, sorry, that's my pill alarm. There we go. Okay. He looks down and he says, "Well, howdy, look at you." And as you walk in, Fergus, you notice these gentlemen are all human, all very normal dudes, and looks like the one who's talking to you is the one who's holding all the chips right now. It looks like he's been kicking everybody's ass in cards, and one of the guys, when he greets you as you walk in, one of the other guys says, "Hey, pal, you better be focusing on the game, little cheater." And the guy's like, "I ain't cheating. I'm just welcoming our new blue friend." And he kind of waves at you to come take a seat with them and play some cards. You want to play?
Oh, I'll play. Okay. I'll play.
All right. So instead of doing the whole game like last time with 21. Instead, I'm just going to have you roll me a D20. Just roll me a D20. So in the chat here in Roll20, if you type /roll and then lowercase D20 with a space in between roll and D20, it should roll for you. So, all right, with a 6. Okay. So they deal you a hand of cards, and this is a group of guys who seems like they've been playing for a long time, and they're not betting anything real, as you note. They're not really betting anything that seems worth much. It looks like they've got these chips that they've been playing with for years, and they just keep reusing them over and over again. It's just for fun. They're just playing for fun. And with a 6, all 10 of the chips that they gave you get swiped away in the first hand, and the guy goes, "Well, I win again." Roll me a perception check. Roll me a perception check. With a 9, it's hard to tell, but it is very sus that this guy is winning so much as all the other guys have their chips taken away. And one of the other guys at the table says, "You know what? I'm tired of this shit. When's the food ready?" And another guy says, "Oh, come on, Ralph. Be nice. I mean, we're just playing for fun. You ain't losing nothing." And the guy who's been winning, he goes, "Yeah, come on, man. We got a new player here. Don't you want to give him some of your chips?" "Oh, wait, I've got them all." And they kind of start bantering back and forth. And at about this time, dinner's starting to come up. And you've gotten to know a little bit about these people. And you play another hand before food comes out. And you all gather around the dinner table for a nice meal together. So you have a nice dinner. You eat. Neffy, as you're eating, your friend, who you brought back to life, kind of nudges you and says, "I think it's time I go outside. What do you think?"
All right, so then she follows him outside.
Okay. He stands up from the table. He hadn't eaten anything that was on his plate. One of the ladies, she goes, so do you tieflings, you don't eat anything? Anything that us normal people eat? And he goes, no, we eat, the flesh of newborns and shit. And she kind of laughs, and like a nervous laugh, and he goes, isn't that what all you humans think? And she says,
Egrid stands up and is like, I'll take his food.
Neffy tries to play along, and she's like, yes, the flesh. I have a nice bag of newborn flesh right outside. Come on, let's go.
He's like, oh, of course, yes, of course. I'll be back, I'm sure. And he walks away from the table. The lady seems disappointed that he didn't eat any food, and also a bit wary of him, just because you have a feeling that most people are a little wary of tieflings, being they are from, the spawn of devils. And although it might be a bit racist, it is part of kind of the culture of being an everyday kind of person. You hear about tieflings, and you need to kind of experience that they're not all like that to really understand, because a lot of people are grown up thinking that they are all evil. And this guy is not a great ambassador for that, being someone who actually is evil. So that said, he heads out with you outside, and as you reach the front steps, he turns around and he says, you should go back inside and enjoy your meal. Thank you for bringing me back.
But she's in the middle of like spinning like a little baggie of sorts. Okay, come on, get in your ash bag.
He says, you gonna put me in that thing, huh?
She's like, yes, and I'm gonna carry you with me when we defeat all the other slaves.
Well, okay.
Slave owners, yeah.
Would you let them know, if you end up getting a chance to talk to Oswald or any of the others, you just let them know that Deacon sends his regards, would you?
I'll remember.
All right. Well, I'm off. And he kind of puts up a hand for a salute, and as he does, his forehead down to his toes begins to turn this kind of reddish, dusty color, and a gust of wind starts blowing him away.
Oh, she's trying to get all the ashes in her little ash bag. She gets a couple handfuls and tosses them in there.
All right, so you get a few handfuls of
Deacon dust.
Deacon ash. There you go. So, do you head back inside?
Yeah, and then she just goes back inside.
Okay.
Tries to come up with an excuse. Oh, there wasn't enough babies. He went to get more. Ha ha ha.
She says, well, okay, well, your food's getting cold. Come on now. And
this
Egrid,
food
you
is
do have the rest of his food.
Egrid's like sloppily eating, and she's just like, I love the food. Haven't had something like this in years.
She says, well, you did the potatoes. It's kind of like the little redhead around here. You do some work, you get some food. Except for you freeloaders. And she points to the old men who are all like, and they start eating their food.
So, you get travelers here often?
She kind of pipes up. She says, no, not really. I mean, we don't really have many that stop in. A lot of them are just rolling through. A lot of people like to try and get through these cornfields and soybean fields as fast as possible.
Why as fast as possible?
Well, at night there's the night walkers.
Oh. I beg your pardon? She
kind of looks around, and the whole table is kind of eating their food. They don't seem to mind what she's saying. She says, if you're out in the fields at night, when the sun goes down, they say those night walkers come out and they'll take you and drag you into the crops and make you disappear. And
are they the ones they say protect the seed?
Oh, you know about the seed? Oh, well,
I've heard some about it.
Well, they might be. They might be. They do say that those could be Nightwalkers, but no one's ever seen one before. So, at least no one's ever lived to tell the tale. So, we don't know what they are, but that cornfield, most people stay away from that area. There's a farmer who's been trying to farm it, but he hasn't been super successful. So
why hasn't he been successful?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's a dense cornfield. I mean, it grows intensely. By the time you harvest a bit of corn from it, you've probably grown another acre worth of corn. It is constantly growing. Constantly. Nobody knows why.
I thought that would be a good thing.
It would be, but you got to think these stalks of corn, they are so tough to break down. They are extremely tough stalks of corn. Almost impossible to cut down without anything but a sword.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're real healthy stalks of corn. And real thick cornfield out there. So, is that where you're headed?
Well,
we're looking for any sort of cornfield. We're looking for there is a god trapped in a seed that is guarded by well hidden guards. I don't know if you've heard anything of the sort. Rumors, hearsay, folklore. We're trying to find something.
She says, you're probably looking for that there cornfield then. You're probably looking for the one with the strong stalks. If you end up going down there, there's a farmer named Isaiah who's been trying to farm it. He might have some more information for you about them guards and all that. We've all heard rumors of it, but ain't no reason to go there because out here, miles away from it, our crops grow like crazy. We don't ever have to worry about not having a successful season out here. So there's no reason to get closer where those stalks of corn get tough and dense. We just stay out here on the outskirts and reap the benefits.
So how far away are we from it then?
Probably just another day's walk, southeast of here. You can't miss it. It is miles and miles of corn and no other crop.
I see. So what are the stories that you've heard?
Well, we've heard that there's a special seed, as you've heard. You mentioned it. We heard there's a special seed out there buried in the soil somewhere that helps the crops grow in this area and gives them a lot of vigor and creates a lot of profit for all of us. And she kind of laughs a little bit, and all the other farmers kind of laugh at the table. And she says, we've also heard a lot of people that go out there looking for it don't come back. I don't think from what I've heard, the guards won't hurt you if you're not looking for it, but it seems like they can tell. And
how can they tell?
Who knows? Kind of like the same thing. Like, you ever know someone's lying before? You ever seen that before?
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, I bet it's like that. Where like they can just tell. If it's some kind of special magical seed, maybe they got some kind of special magical connection, or maybe they can read people's minds, or maybe maybe they can just tell by the scent. Who knows? We don't know.
So these Nightwalkers, you've never seen one?
Nightwalkers, we don't know if they're the same as the guards, but we've seen Nightwalkers before. Nightwalkers
do you know how to kill?
Well, they're kind of like big wolves. You find them all around the crops. They feast on a lot of the crops in this area and a lot of the cattle and things that we keep up. They're, well, what would you say, Dennis? And kind of the older guy says, they've been around since I was a youngin'. I remember when they first cropped up. Years and years ago, but they're these big furry black creatures. They got beady red eyes, and they travel around the cornfields and eat the cattle and the sheep and sometimes people.
I see.
They eat crops too, but I think they like meat better. think they're omnivores.
What the hell's an omnivore?
I learned this word the other day from one of these books, and he points over to a bookshelf that has 2 books laying on it, and the rest of it's empty. And he points to a book over there, and he says, "Omnivores it eats like plants and meat."
Speaking of books, Neffy, look at this book that we found.
Neffy rushes over because she's desperate for friendship. Let me see, Grid.
Oh yeah, show him that book.
Oh right. so she starts taking the webbing off of the infernal book that she has in her backpack, and she kind of like dusts it off and hands it over to Egrid, awkwardly, even though she's supposed to hand it to the other people.
Look at this. What is this? And Egrid kind of like starts to open it up.
Okay. So before we get into that, Moonsy's here. Hi, Moonsy.
Hello, Moonsy.
Okay, let me fix my my overlay here so I can have. Well, are you gonna turn on your camera, Moonsy, or were you planning on?
No,
okay.
I won't be.
Well, then I'll just leave it like this.
camera.
I'm just gonna leave it like this then.
Okay.
So
You
we'll
look
just have
great.
your placeholder.
Thank you. I bet you look great too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm very happy to have you, and I know we're all happy to have you here. So, let me bada bing, bada boom. Let me move Jinx over so she's not off frame, and we'll get this set up here.
I'm probably gonna drop off in like 15 minutes because it's getting really late. I'm getting really tired.
Okay, we don't go for much longer than that. If you want to be here till the end, we're only going to go till probably 7:45 today, my time, which is in 30 minutes. If you
30 more minutes then.
Yeah, usually the last 15 minutes, like crazy stuff happens, so we'll see what happens. But that's up to you. You can leave if you need to, no problem. All right, so let's see. I've got my overlay. Oops, I have 2 Jinxes. Gosh damn it. Oh.
Nothing wrong with 2 of me. I mean,
Hey, true.
more the merrier. Am I right?
True. All right, where's Casey? There she is. Okay, perfect. And boom. Okay. So, what happened that you missed, Moonsy, is your party here talked a little bit with the slave owners and the former slaves and got some information out of them. Neffy, which is Susu's character, brought back the slave owner that you killed, the Tiefling that you guys decapitated. And, oh, did she disconnect?
Sorry, the audio was going like double over for me, so I just closed Zoom.
Here, open back up Zoom. I'll mute myself. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Open. Oh no, that wasn't the right one.
I think it was. You're
That's
good.
okay. Okay, cool.
Perfect. Okay. And I think our overlay looks good. Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep. No problem. Sorry about that. Okay.
No
So,
problem.
what you missed is your party here got some information, and Neffy, which is Susu's character, brought back that that slave driver that you killed, that you decapitated. So she put the head back on him and brought him back to life using her godly ability. So,
oh my god.
yeah. So it was pretty
cool.
dope. She basically like sewed some webs between his like the bottom half of his head neck and the top half of his body neck, and put him back together and stitched him back together and brought him back to life. He gets to live for 24 hours. He told you all kinds of information about how he was working for some kind of deity in hell, some kind of demon in hell. How he's kind of sold his soul to that demon for power, wealth, money, sex, that kind of stuff. He wanted it all. He also gave you the name of another prominent slave owner in the area to go take down. So you got kind of a side quest. You can take down the slave trade in this area. And you are all headed towards the big cornfield where your mother is hidden. And on the way there, you need to stop for rest, and you found yourself here at a farm with a group of farmers, and they are feeding you and talking to you about the rumors and just telling you about this area of the world, which is a pretty interesting area. It's almost entirely acreages, farms, plantations, crops, that kind of stuff. And they're telling you about these night walkers that come out at night, and they eat the cattle and the sheep, and they're like gigantic black wolves with red eyes. That's how you were described, these things. They also told you that the seed, the supposed seed that you're looking for, a lot of people know about it, but nobody seems to know that your mother is trapped in it. They just know that there's a magical seed. They don't know, what is special about it. They just know that it's magical in some way. And they know that it provides them all of the crops in this area. It helps all the growth. And you would understand, being the goddess of harvest, that makes sense. So, with that, you're sitting at the dinner table with this group of native farmers in this area, and they're just telling you rumors and stuff. And right now, the party is showing them that book from last time. If you remember, you got a book with all this like demonic writing and stuff in it, and the magical runes. And they're showing them the book right now, and that's where we're at. Any questions on anything?
Nope, good to go. Thank you so much.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, everybody. So, Ygritte and Neffy, you're showing them the book, right?
Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
She looks at it. She kind of raises an eyebrow and she says, "I ain't never seen a book like this before." She kind of tilts her head. What language is that? She's kind of pointing to the infernal.
It's infernal.
Infernal. I've never seen no infernal before. That's crazy. How do you even read that?
I don't know. I was wondering if you knew. Do you know anybody who could read this sort of a thing?
Any y'all bozos know how to read this? All the guys, like almost in unison, go, "Nope." All the farmers seem disinterested with what you're talking about. They're all tired and, scarfing their food.
Slam it. I slam it shut and toss it back to Neffy.
Neffy like awkwardly catches it, fumbling, almost drops it. And then she kind of just holds it really tight. She doesn't want to open it because, if you open it, they can hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, with that, the lady says, "Yeah, sorry, I can't help you more, but it seems like you're all headed towards the seed then, huh? That's the plan for y'all?"
That's the plan.
Yep.
Well, I ain't never heard of nobody going for that seed and lived. I think it's best y'all turn around and don't do it. If you're asking for my advice, which you're not asking for, but I thought I'd give it anyway, some unsolicited advice to you.
Hey, well, the seed is her mother.
The what?
Oh God. Yeah, it's a long story, but I think my mom is in that seed.
I ain't ever heard anything like it.
Your mom's in the seed? What do you mean?
Crocus just kind of looks panicked at the other members, like, "Help, I don't know."
Neffy steps up and yells like really like obnoxiously loud, "A joke! Ha 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 ha!" And she just starts mechanically laughing.
Roll a deception check, Neffy.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, I'm rolling. Alright, that's... Oh, God, I have a -1 deception. Oh.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm rolling.
Oh, you rolled a natural 20.
Oh, my God! Yeah, I rolled a nat 20, but I got -1.
So it's a nat 20,
Nailed
but it's a
it.
19. That's awesome. So as you say that, "It's just a joke, ha ha ha," like all of the people like stop eating and look up at you, and then in unison, and they all start like slapping the table.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be so?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
You guys had me, mom in a seed. That's crazy.
Yeah, these buggers, they tease me so much, don't you, Ygritte?
Oh,
All the time.
That's pretty funny. So y'all aren't really going for the seed then, right? That's not your plan?
We're going for the stalks. We need strong stalks. We're going to use them to build a house.
Oh, you're building a house out of the corn stalks.
That'd be perfect.
Yes.
That's strange. An interesting choice.
Very
I
good material.
Good moisture.
I thought I heard a story once about some pigs who made a house out of some corn stalks or something. A big wolf blew it down. You ever heard that one?
Oh, I that is one of the stories that I can read.
Well, we have that in common.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we don't have much of a library, and she points over to the bookshelf that has 2 books on it.
Oh, and then I guess with perception, I would see that one of them's the 3 Little Pigs.
Yeah, it's a dictionary and the 3 Little Pigs. That's it.
Yeah.
One of the guys says, well, if y'all are headed to go and try and get the seed, y'all pretty tough, would you say? You look tough, but are you tough?
Yeah, we're pretty tough, I guess.
Neffy just like reaches into her bag and cracks the golden whip.
He kind of furrows his eyebrows and he goes, well, I would be interested to hear about any of your adventures out there in the cornfield. So if you end up coming back, I'd like to know if you see those creatures. I've always wondered ever since I was a kid what they look like. So if you get a chance to see one, would you mind coming back and telling us?
Oh, whenever we come back and tell you about it, you can tell us to all of your children and your children's children. We'll be legends.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was thinking, you know? I was thinking if I found out, you know, we could be the only family in the area who knows anything about it, you know? And maybe we could get some extra money out of it, you know? Hey, that's not from you guys, but of course, you know, telling stories to people. They like giving tips and stuff around here. So maybe we could do that.
Like a tourist attraction.
Yeah. It'd be cool to know, you know, just what it's all about. But, you know, I have a feeling y'all are going to die. And the whole table kind of goes quiet.
Oh.
It's our destiny. We have to do it. We have no other choice.
Look, don't worry about us, dude. You have no idea what we're capable of.
We're meant to do it.
I see. Well, y'all are more than welcome to stay in the guest bedrooms. We only got 4 of them, but you can stay in them if you wish. Be on your way in the morning. If y'all don't mind, a little hospitality, I think, deserves a little coinage. And the lady says, "Come on, Dennis, just let him stay." And the guy kind of shrugs his shoulders and he says, well, the old lady makes the rules. So you get that he was hinting that it would be nice to tip them for having stayed in their place, but that's totally up to you guys. And the lady who did all the cooking seems embarrassed that he would ask that outright. So and she goes, that's not necessary, but yeah, y'all can stay in the guest bedrooms, and appreciate the help in the kitchen. Thank you. Egrid and Neffy, Fergus, and Shisa. Thank you.
Well, perhaps we do a bit of gambling.
Oh, are y'all into gambling?
Oh, we've done a little.
Neffy's like, with what money?
Idea. You have no idea.
Well, we don't really gamble for much real world currencies here. We just kind of do it for fun. But if you guys are down to play for fun, we can do that. We don't have much to give, though. You're muted, Jinx.
That's my favorite type of gambling with no risk at all.
Okay. So, at this time, we won't like role play, you know, out. But you guys do enjoy a night of gambling and drinks with the farm family. They share a big keg of beer with you, and they all get blasted and enjoy the night with you. with that, you all head up to your guest bedrooms. There are 4 of. You can decide how you want to share those rooms, however you wish. How would you share those rooms? I'm curious. There's 4 rooms and there's 7 of you. 7 of you. Yep, 7 of you. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting about him. There's 8 of you. Dom's with you too, so I would assume Fergus and Dom are rooming together. I keep forgetting about him.
I think the snake and the spider should room together.
Neffy's already making like a little web hammock up in the ceiling.
And I'll stay with the crocus.
The crocus.
You're
muted, Jinx.
Dude, I'm sorry. I was just trying not to like get bong noises.
You're good.
On the stream. But I'm fine with sleeping with Neffy. I mean rooming with Neffy.
That's a fanfic in the making.
Oh no.
Dude, we're like the 2 scariest creatures. It's great.
And then Fergus, Dom, and Leon can all kind of share a room, and that makes the 4 rooms, with Tyria getting her own room. So, with that, you guys head to bed. Now, who's holding on to the book? Curious.
Oh, I am. Neffy is.
Okay. So, Neffy, as you're resting, sleeping with this book next to you, the first night that you slept with it, just out in the woods, nothing really strange happened, but tonight, you feel a strange presence kind of coming from it, and as you're resting, you start kind of floating off into your dream state, and you find yourself standing in a dark reddish black void. And as you stand there, you look down, there's no ground beneath you, but there's no sky above you either. You're in this void. And in your hands, you're holding that book. No webs around it. No bindings.
Uh-oh.
And as you're holding on to it, you hear a voice. It says,
"Hello, little
Uh-oh.
creature. Why do you hold on to my book?"
She just kind of stands there, not knowing what to say. And then she just says, "I like to read."
Well, there is not much reading in here, but I sense something coming from you. A power. I heard what you did to my last minion. You brought him back to life. That's powerful.
Uh-oh.
I have a proposition for you. Would you like to hear it?
Neffy nods and then realizes maybe he can't see, and she says, "Oh, okay."
My proposition is this. If you take this book to the northern mountain, I can meet you in person, and I can grant you power beyond your wildest dreams, money beyond the riches you've ever seen, and I can get rid of anything that you might be self-conscious about. Like those little legs of yours.
Oh my god.
She starts kind of like fiddling with her legs, like as soon as he mentions those.
So, I'll leave a mark on your map. Come to me. I'll be waiting.
And you wake up. It's early morning. Birds are chirping. It's a beautiful day.
Woo.
This is what we would call meta knowledge for all of you players. So you may have heard this in the RP scene. You may have heard this in the Among Us scene. Our meta knowledge is knowing something as a player that your character wouldn't know. So example, in Among Us, when you hear somebody like say accidentally that they are the imposter, like when their mic is supposed to be turned off, that's meta knowledge that you're not supposed to have. Or in RP, when somebody comes into your chat and says, hey, XQC's coming to come hang out with you, like that's something your character wouldn't know, so your character shouldn't react to that. This is the same kind of thing. Your characters know about Neffy's dream, but until she tells you about it, your characters don't know about it, but you as players do. Does that make sense? So that would be meta knowledge. So your characters don't know about it unless her character explicitly tells you, like, hey, this happened to me. Otherwise, it's just knowledge that I'm giving you as players. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I guess Ygritte just goes about her normal morning routine. She like gets out a little step stool and puts it in front of a mirror and starts like brushing out her beard and braiding it.
Nice.
And the rest of y'all wake up in the morning to the smell of freshly cooked ham and eggs. There smells like coffee that's brewing here as well. And the people seem lively. This morning as you come down, same table that you had dinner at is now a smorgasbord of breakfast foods. Anyone who wakes up early can help around the kitchen if you'd like. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. Anyone who wakes up early enough to want to help around the kitchen, go ahead and roll me a survival check. Depending on these survival checks, you may help with the food, which could be beneficial for the party.
Egrid's up in her room getting high right now for breakfast.
Fair enough.
Wake and bake.
Okay, anyone else want to roll survival, or are we good? Just
I
checking.
accidentally rolled twice.
Okay, so with a 2 and an 8, not super helpful. By the time you guys actually come down, she's pretty much finished with breakfast. She's pretty much finished, like, making it. She just asks Crocus to grab the milk out of the ice box, and Shisa, you come down, and she's putting the last plate on the table already, so nothing you can really help with. In this case, if you guys would have rolled really highly, sometimes what I like to do in the morning, if you're helping NPCs make food for you, I like to have it like buff you for the day. So I would have given you some like temporary hit points or, something that would have buffed your party up for the day. So just so you know, when I have you or give you the chance to do something in the morning, like a skill check for food or something like that, that's usually what I'm doing is for a buff of some kind for you for the day. You're not missing, anything crazy. You're just missing a small buff that you would have gotten. That's all. So with that, I think now would be a good time for us to end for the day so that people can get some rest and Ross can get more used to his daylight saving schedule and